Namaste, everybody. I am personally just so delighted and just so honored. I just want to take a moment and ask you just to congratulate yourself for making it this far. It takes dedication and commitment, something that I asked of you from the very start. And the fact that you've given that and you've given priority to yourself, your higher self, is the reason that you're here today. So just take a moment and just celebrate, and we'll do some more celebrating. But I just want to welcome all of you. I'm just going to begin with a couple little housekeeping items. I'm presuming that you have all to this point have been practicing connecting with your guide, and not connecting again in the fact that you're having a conversation or anything like that, but connecting in the fact that you're getting a feel for how your guide connects with you, how your guide moves you, the difference between your energy and your master guide's energy. And so knowing that, I want to talk a little bit about crossing the veil, because that's what this module is. We've worked really hard and we played really wonderfully to get to this point. And so crossing the veil, some refer to crossing the veil as the veil of forgetfulness. Some call it the veil of separation. So you understand that there's no actual wall or curtain. You already, you get that. But when the veil is used, it's used as a metaphor to the illusion that we and spirit are separate. And for those of you who have already begun to feel the connection with your master guide, knowing that you're here today, again, I'm making that presumption that you have already connected with your master guide. You have already crossed the veil in some ways. You've already begun to remove the illusion, and you understand that you and spirit are not separate, that you are one. And so this is why we can move through different spiritual dimensions, and why we can astral travel, and why we could do that mini out-of-body experience, and why we can easily regress and project forward into future, and all of these different things that people do. So to cross the veil, what it means is to move into a state of consciousness that heightens your intuitive states of awareness. So we have crossed the veil together many times before. So it's not like this is a big, it's kind of like when you're learning how to swim, you're already familiar with the water, you already know how to dive, you already know, the safety, the different deep ends of the pool, and now we're just going to take it into a new body of water. It's really very similar. And so fully trust your intuition at this point. Knowing that you are with me at this juncture, it is safe for me to say that you have successfully already crossed the veil. Okay, so just let that sink in. You may have done it earlier in the program. You may have done it when you shared your experiences as far as what's happening out on Facebook. For sure in the last module when you connected with your master spirit guide. So in other words, you now know how to move in a way that allows you to ascend beyond the illusion. And so today we're just going to take it up another notch. Just imagine that we're going up to one more rung on the ladder in terms of ascension, and the fact that we're moving into the afterlife, or what some would call the great beyond. So that's what today is all about. Ascend, according to the beautiful Merriam-Webster's dictionary, means to go up, to rise, or to move toward the sky. It's the act or process of moving or rising up, especially to a higher position of power. And power in this case means the connection to the divinity, returning to that which your soul already knows, the higher power of you. So ascension is to access your multidimensional selves by rising beyond the third dimension, which is physical form, and into what some refer to as the fifth dimension, which really is just another way of saying that we're moving beyond the physical, the tangible, the seen, and into the unseen, which is why self-awareness, self-trust, and full self-acceptance were necessary keys to get you to this point, okay? So as we journey into the beautiful afterworld, we'll be using rays of the sun. In the Cherokee tradition, the sun has 7 rays that revolve around the center of sacred fire. And so in the early days of Christianity, Mother Mary, also called the Madonna, is shown with the 7 rays of light. And so many times these 7 rays of light are depicted as doves, or you'll see a dove with 7 different rays around it. Pay attention to some of your pictures and cards and things that you might have at home. These are all gifts from the Holy Spirit, sometimes called the Holy Ghost. So today is really going to be about you beginning to journey even deeper using your intuition, and there'll be very little talking this time around. For the most part, there's going to be a lot of silence, and your master guide will be maneuvering you and moving you as well. In other words, this module is designed to be much more experiential. So there'll be some silent interludes, and those silent interludes are designed to uplift you and to ascend you into the afterworld, okay? Now, just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect, we're going to begin with a warm-up to loosen your energies. And because you've done this before, you know what it's like to stand and to move and follow your intuition. I'm not going to guide you. I'm just going to say, okay, now take a moment and loosen up. And then we're going to do some breath work. You know what that entails as well. Finding your center, grounding, noticing your auric field, checking it to be sure that you're nice and balanced, being open to receive from a deep place of resonance. You know, am I receiving from that deep place within me? You have done all this before. I'm going to verbally guide you into the 7 rays, the gifts from the Holy Spirit, call it what you will. These rays, I like to visualize as rays of the sun, and they represent your physical, your astral, and your mental bodies. And according to an article on the science of the 7 rays, quote, each are vibrating units of energy that are a part of a divine whole, which in its 7-fold nature expresses the love and life of the one reality, unquote. So what will happen is once you've moved and experienced all 7 of the rays, you will then be guided to ascend to the Nirvana of the afterworld. And it is then where you will be doing what you have learned to do best, which is to trust, to use your intuitive tools, your intuitive knowingness, your spiritual yes and no, to clear, to reset if necessary, and to go with first impressions as you fully trust and allow and uplift. So as to who it is you connect with, I just want to spend a moment talking about this because I know it's so important, because so many of you were drawn to this course because you had someone specific in mind that you're hoping to connect with. So what I will say about that is I suggest that you remain open at first, okay? Remain open. So remember, we talked about the importance of asking and surrendering. This is one of those times, okay? You want to be able to really understand, though you have a desire in your heart where you want to connect specifically with a relative, let's say, dear to your heart, you may get a visit from some other loved one at first, or you might get a visit from a long lost pet, or you might get a visit from your main spirit guide or angel because they really wish to connect with you first. And so please be open to that. And because it is so important to ask for that which you desire, there will be a point where I'll ask you to voice your intentions. And an example of this would be, please allow me to connect with my mom. Or I'm open to connecting with my spirit guide or my main guardian angel. Okay, these are examples of expressing yourself, using that ability to ask so that you're open to receive. You'll know to state your intention because you're going to hear this. okay? You might not see me do it because your eyes will be closed, but you'll hear that tone, that beautiful chime. And when you hear it, that will be your cue to state your intention. Because remember, so much of this is going to be silence, okay? And when you hear that chime, you are either going to express yourself aloud, okay? Such as, I am open to connecting with my Father, my main guide, whatever it is that works for you, whatever it is that your soul desires at this time. Or you can choose to connect telepathically. And if you want to just do it silently, then remember to really use the feelings of your heart, because feelings are vibrations, so strong vibrations. So you combine your thought along with the feeling, and then you emit that intention. And some of you will want to do both, and that's okay. You'll verbalize it as well as telepathically, adjust your energy field from the heart. So go with that, whatever works for you, most important. So trust what you're receiving here, and you'll most likely connect with just one or two beings, especially if this is your first time, and then you can take what you learned today and go back and do it some more, okay? So rather than take mental notes along the way, because some of you might be like, oh, what did I just do and how did I get there? Remember, this is about release. This is about surrender. Really trust your own inner wisdom to lead the way. You've been down this path before. Your soul knows exactly how to return home. It knows the way, so trust it, okay? Remember, if you start to get hung up or stuck for whatever reason, ask your master guide for some assistance so that they can start moving you again, and always remember to follow your truth. For as Buddha said in his final sermon to his disciples, be a lamp unto yourselves. Hold fast to the truth as a lamp. Look not for refuge in anyone besides yourself. Okay, so we're going to begin. And as we begin, I'm going to dim my lights. And that's just so that you can really go within. And for the next 5 minutes or so, you can either stand or sit, your choice. And you really want to begin to loosen and relax your body, okay? So we might start with some neck rolls again, shoulder shrugs, really helping you to be mindful of your vessel, because remember the importance of soul embodiment so that you can fully ground and then really center and be open to receive. So it's okay to do some gentle stretches, to release, to relax, to let go, and to use your breath. After that point, you're going to hear me guide you. And that's when you're going to be seated, and that's where you're going to kind of, still yourself a little bit more to go within, and then really allow your body and your vessel to start opening to flow. And that's okay. It's okay if you move. I like to move. When that energy comes through, you can just feel it. You can feel it come through the fingertips and through the back of the head and up that Kundalini spine, okay? So go with whatever works for you. And please begin to stretch. And many of you will want to stand for this. Just allow your body to move you. And if you're not yet seated, just kind of move into the chair. Begin to notice your posture. Stretch your legs, maybe rotate your ankles a bit. Really start to work those lower chakras, the physical the grounding and the rooting through the soles of the feet. Through the tailbone. And then begin to use your breath to move into flow. Just taking the next few minutes to open your feminine and masculine pathways, allowing the energies to spiral, to merge, using your intuition to guide you openly and freely. Remember, there are no rules here. Allow the breath to lead you. Keep it playful, keep it fun. You might even spend a few moments noticing the differences in the different matrices in your head, in your heart, in your hara, as you check your energy field. Trusting and noticing from your center. Now, taking a couple nice deep breaths. Much like the robin who arrives at the sign of first light and pulls up the earthworm from the soil, begin to ground using the energies of your feet and your tailbone and pull up life energy of Mother Earth. As you continue to self-nurture and fully embody your soul. Notice and feel the soles of your feet. And imagine that you're stepping along the banks of a shore. It may be sandy, it may be rocky. Just allow it to be a beautiful body of water gently flowing beside you. As you bring in the feel and the vibration of nature, Continue to align, harmonize, and synchronize with the breath. Becoming aware of the waves of the water, aware of the currents of the air, one with the vibration of nature, synchronizing and harmonizing with the breath. Feel with the soles of your feet, stepping along the banks of the shore, bringing in the temperature, the smells, the sounds of the waves. Gently flows beside you. As you feel the oneness, the connection with nature, becoming even more balanced with every step. And whether it's ripples or waves, begin to imagine that sun allows the reflection, the glistening of light, little diamond patterns in the water. And as you open to the awareness of the orbs of radiant light, continue to breathe from your center, joyfully witnessing each lit droplet, each reflection of the sun. Then, as you're comfortable, perhaps with your next breath, begin to become one with the water and the waves. As you allow your own inner light to glisten, and as you begin to light up from within, sense and imagine and feel yourself bouncing like a beach ball on the waves. And feel yourself centered in this beach ball, aware of the energies around you, checking your energy field, noticing your observation points. If you're in your head, move down to your center and enjoy the ride. Allowing the healing wind to carry you upward, more and more free, safely into the rays of the sun. Connecting to the first ray, your nurturing source energy, your life force, securely grounding you at the base of your spine. Your rooted security of Mother Earth, that which brings you peace and purity and joy. Begin to ride the waves of the second ray as you move into reverence, the piety and the devotion to God, your union with all creation. Your sacral center, your seat of the soul, your intimate connection and zest for life that brings you fairness and mercy and freedom. Now glide with the ray of fortitude, that third ray, your courageous ability to stand in your truth. to honor your free will and reside in your self-worth, to value your personal power, your solar plexus, where your inner strength, self-acceptance, and confidence are housed. Move now to the ray of your heart, your beautiful divine spark, the secret chamber of knowledge, embrace the wholeness and warmth of self-love. Feel into the wellspring of caring and kindness for others, your love of God source. Expand now with creative sound into the ray of will, your faith and power of God. As you openly connect with divine counsel, infinitely protected in all ways, use your breath to move beyond the limitations of clock and linear time and into the vastness of self-expression. Voice your intentions in such a way that you now express your truth clearly, freely, and authentically. Connect now with your inner vision as you move with the ray of understanding, the truth of God, into the depths of your inner being. Awaken your inner eye. witnessing and perceiving your true potential, observing the harmonic synchrony of each hemisphere of your brain, simply being mindful, moment to moment, naturally observing while simultaneously knowing. As you greet the wisdom of God, lastly, begin to emanate with your halo of illumination and rise high enough to begin to notice your isness, your nothingness, your allness. Float and drift and hover beyond the third dimension, taking notice of the wise intersection of time and timelessness, being aware of your within and your without. On your next breath, allow your master guide to move you into the ray that is here to help you ascend. As I count from 1 to 10, you'll move through the portal of Ascension, riding this ray and landing gently in the afterworld, easily and freely using your intuitive tools. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, higher and higher. Some of you may wish to use your spiritual yes and no to learn how to discern the difference between your energy and the energy of the loved one or the being that came through for you. Use your clear and your intuitive tools to proceed. Take the next few minutes to receive any last insights, to strengthen your connection with the afterworld. Begin to send some gratitude and appreciation for the experience. And as you feel your master guide moving back into your energy field, trust and know that you'll soon be guided back into the room that you're in safely, freely, and easily. And 5, connecting with your master guide. 4, beginning to return to the room that you're in. 3, coming back a little more. 2, soon wanting to stretch, to move, and to open your eyes. 1, wiggling your fingers and your toes, rotating your ankles and your wrists. Congratulations. Good job, everybody. I encourage you to submit any comments. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your diligence. And most importantly, I appreciate you, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have all been able to enjoy the experience as we did. So thank you, everyone. Give yourself a little pat on the back and have a beautiful, beautiful day, evening, beautiful wherever you are in whatever part of the world. Thank you all, everyone. Namaste.